So can smartwatches help autistic children? All that's coming up. Hey guys, welcome back to the AspieWorld. My name is Dan, I have autism, ADHD and OCD and dyslexia, and I make weekly videos on this type of content, so if you're new around here and you'd like to learn more, remember to hit that subscribe button by clicking the notification bell and follow this page on Instagram and Facebook to see more videos just like this one. Guys, so I came across this really interesting article talking about smartwatches and autistic children, right? And I'm a huge lover. Like, I wear a smartwatch. I've had a smartwatch now for about 5 years, and I've had the Apple Watch, and I'm kind of like an Apple guy, you know. I've got like the iPhone, the iPad, the MacBook, the watch, the everything Apple, right? The headphones, the Apple TV, you name it, whatever. And one of the interesting things is that when I never used to wear a watch until I got the Apple Watch, and then I got the Apple Watch, and I found it very interesting for one simple reason. It alerts you. You can set reminders on your apps and it'll alert you on your watch, which I found just absolutely fantastic, and also can track kind of any movement. So if you've not like done any exercising for a while, it'll say like, hey, you've done very little movement, get up, you know, stop being lazy, which is cool. And another thing is that it knows if your kind of heart rate increases or if you're feeling anxious, because it has a little app on it called Breathe, which tells you, hey, you need to slow down and take a breath. I found this amazing, but I came across an article, and researchers in the Boston area of the United States have been developing this kind of like program where they're having the parents of the kids, right? So they're taking kids who are like preschool kids or young high school kids or middle school kids, and the parents got the iPhone, and the parents are like texting their kids saying like, hey, remember to eat your lunch today, honey, and then they send the message. And then of course the kid's got a discreet Apple Watch on, and then they kind of quickly glance at it and it says, oh, message from mum, I gotta remember to take my medicine, or remember to go to lunch, and I've got lunch money in my bag, you know. Because when you're thinking about autistic kids, you're thinking about kids who are overwhelmed with the environment that they're in, you know, high school, preschool, middle school. All of these places, school is just a busy environment, especially if you're on the autism spectrum, right? Think about it. You're on the autism spectrum, you've got 1,000,001 things going on. It's not easy to be in that school environment. So remembering to take lunch money with you, remembering to pick up your lunch from your bag that could be in a locker, remembering to take your medication, remembering to even drink water. These tasks can be super difficult for people on the autism spectrum, and for that reason, I think that this has real good weight. Now, the idea of the program is that the parents and the caregivers send the message or the command to the watch, and it's very discreet so that the kids can fit in, you know. So one of the things you don't want to do is you don't have like an assistant teacher coming over and being like, hey Dan, remember your mum's just texted you to say take your medication. I mean, you just feel like, oh, you know, you'd feel different, and you'd feel outside of that loop of friends, you know. You'd feel like the kid who had additional needs. But you know, a lot of the time, you know, people want to just fit in, you know. They don't want to kind of be the sore thumb, you know, sticking out in this kind of like sea of kids. And so I can totally sympathize with that. So for the kid to want to, you know, fit in a bit more and be cool with their friends, having a discreet smartwatch that you can set to silent is actually having really good results. So the parents have already started adopting this idea. I think like 20 parents and student pairs have already started doing this in Boston, in a certain school there somewhere in the USA. And they send like little text messages, but what they also do is they can send little like cartoon pictures. Like with the iPhone, you can like send cartoon pictures and send it to the watch, and it'll come up as a little animation, or you can save like a GIF or a Bitmoji or something like that, and those little cartoons will come up on the watch, and you can actually see them as images on the watch. But it's so discreet that even if somebody saw it, they'd be like, oh, they've just got, you know, a GIF image from their mum, it's funny, you know, someone eating a chocolate bar or something, or sandwich. But for that kid, they know exactly what that command is going to be. Now this is amazing, and it's a great step forward in trying to kind of like get, you know, smart technology and technology in general, or accessibility technology, and then implementing that into disability living, you know, because there are huge challenges that face people on the autism spectrum. Now, not being just captivated to schooling, I've used similar systems where I've used apps that will remind me to do stuff. Like I said, everything I have in my life runs on an app. Like if I didn't have an app that had timed schedules on it, I'd forget to go to the dentist, I'd forget to brush my teeth, I'd forget to drink water, I'd forget to do all of these things. But because I have my watch and my phone and my iPad kind of shout at me saying like, Dan, you know, take your medication, put the dishwasher on. Like seriously guys, like every day I have to, like, my medication is one of the things that I always forget to do. So every single day I have to take my medication, like my reminders, you know, these are some reminders here. Actually, these are out of date. There's 2 things that I forgot to do. So there you go. See, and this thing's shouting at me from yesterday. So medication, like taking that, is super important. There are other apps like Timo and things like that I've mentioned in other videos, and then I'll try and leave a link for a app video, which I've made videos about apps that help people on the spectrum. But this is a simple technique. All you need is the parents to have an iPhone or a smartphone, and then the child to have a smartwatch or an Apple Watch, and then you're able to do the functions what I said. Now, a lot of the time, I think, you know, when you're giving your kid like a $400 to $500 watch to wear to school, I mean, it's a big ask and it's a big task. But then again, if you think about the parents who give their kids iPads to communicate, you know, when they're non-verbal autistic, then, you know, that's a $1,000 investment, and it is an investment. It's more, rather than just like a flashy watch. This is an adaptive communicative tool that they'll need. Now, you can get different types of straps for it. Now, there's one I've got, which is a Velcro strap that I can, it's made by Nike, and you can get it on the Apple Store as well, but this one actually keeps it to my wrist a lot more, because I had like this rubber strap that used to fall off. So there are security measures that you can take in place, and there's also a pass lock on it. So like, unless you know the passcode, you can't get into the watch, so it's pointless anybody stealing it, and people already know this anyway, so there's not going to be that many people who are going to want to try and hijack your kid to steal their watch. I'm not trying to scare anybody, I'm just saying. But the principle is really interesting. Now, I have left links in the description below so you can check out the article that I read, but I'd love to know your discussion on it. Let me know. Drop me a comment. I read every single one. If you haven't already downloaded my Autism Life Hacks PDF book, you can do at autismhacks.net. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, subscribe, and I'll see you next time, guys. Peace.